Hello and welcome back to Nathan Bell's podcast. Please hit like and subscribe on the channel if you like what you're hearing. Today, Nathan's going to talk to us about sport.
Yeah, well, humans have always played games. I think it's important to play games. It's leisure, and leisure's important in life. We have to have leisure, and it's also socialising. We play games with each other to socialise and to network and to get to know each other and to grow bonds with our friends, and to grow stronger bonds with our friends. So sport is games essentially. At the end of the day, we're playing games with each other, and it's important to have entertainment time and leisure activities. Life can't be all work and serious, but also a bit of friendly competition doesn't hurt either. It helps us push each other to do better. If we want to win the competition, we have to push ourselves, so we have to work hard to perform better. So it's all about performance. But I think competition can go too far, and people become obsessed with winning the competition to the point where they'll bring others down. That's why we have to play fair. We have to be fair sports, and we have to not cheat. Some people get so carried away with winning the competition, they're willing to cheat and to wrong others in order to win the competition, like those who use steroids in competition. Now, I would never, I've never been much on playing sport. I've played sport a bit in my life, but certainly I would never use steroids to get the upper advantage. It wouldn't feel right to me. That's not what it's about. You want to win you want to come into it on an equal playing field, and you want to win on merit from being the better performer. So I'd never understand these people who cheat with steroids in competition. How do they have any pride in their victory? I don't understand that psychology. But I do think competition can go too far, and some people are just obsessed with being the best and being number one for a status thing. I think for a lot of people it can be about status, about having the highest ranking position and getting the praise and the admiration and the celebration of others. And I don't think that's what it should be about. I think it should be about having a good game, having a good time, and proving that you're a strong performer, and winning on merit and in a fair game. But some people are pushy and bullies, and they'll push others around, and they'll do inappropriate things to win the competition. So I think competition can get out of hand, and can drive people to do nasty things and to be nasty. So it's, in many cases, I think we're too competitive as a society, and sport can emphasise the prevalence of sport in our society. Almost emphasises our super competitive nature, and sometimes I think we need to back off the competition a bit and be a bit more cooperative. But sport is also about cooperation, especially when you're playing in a team sport. And when you have to cooperate with your team, and you have to work with your team, and you have to coordinate with your team, but then you're coordinating with your team against another team, so it's this us against them thing, and that bothers me a little bit. Sometimes there's a bit too much us against them in our society, and I think sport can emphasise that. But that's okay to some extent, a bit of us against them, if it's all fair in a game. Competition is bad when it's war. When it's war, it's bad. When it's us against them and we're killing each other. But in a game, competition, us against them, is good. And it encourages everyone to push themselves to perform better, and to be better players, and to be better physical and mental performers. Some things I'm interested in is like fighting. Like, I actually like watching the boxing, and I actually like watching the MMA and the martial arts, which is really contradictory because I'm a pacifist and I don't believe in violence. But I like watching the fights. And about competitive fighting, I think we have to allow it, because the reality is, if you ban, people get injured in competitive fighting, and it's very violent, and you might say that it glorifies violence or promotes violence or encourages other people to be violent, but we have to accept that people have aggression in them. I think we have to accept that people have aggression in them, and they want to fight competitively, and some people just want to be competitive fighters. So if two people want to go into the ring and bash the shit out of each other on fair terms with rules, then that's okay. But if you make competitive fighting illegal, you push it underground, and then it becomes more nasty, and then there's less rules. When competitive fighting is legal, there are doctors involved, and doctors can throw in the towel and call off the fight, and there are rules, and there are medical professionals around so nobody gets seriously injured. So if you make things like competitive fighting and violent sports illegal, you just push them underground, and people start playing them underground illegally, and those situations are always worse because they're less regulated. So it's better for violent, aggressive sports to be regulated by the state, so they're controlled, so that people are safe, and particularly so that there's medical professionals involved when we're playing contact sports or when we're playing violent sports. Like fighting or football, we want the state to regulate it so that there are medical professionals involved and referees, and so that there are appropriate rules for contact to make sure that everything goes smooth so nobody gets majorly injured. But sport is important for the community. It brings community together, and everybody loves to go to the football game or the cricket game or the soccer game and cheer on their team. And it's a community event where everyone comes together and we network and we bond with each other through sport and through playing games. And children love games, and all throughout our lives we love games, so we should keep playing more games, and we should have more leisure. I talk about the fully automated society where robots do everything, and it's the leisure society. And in that future, many of us will make art all the time, but other people will play sport all day, and they will work out and they will play sport all day in the leisure society after robots do everything and nobody works. But the other thing about sport is it promotes good health, and it has a huge focus on physical health, which is important. We want to have good health, and we want to promote good health and good physical health, and we want people to aspire to be fit and healthy and at physical optimum. So sport encourages that. So I think sport is very good for the community and good for the world. So we want to have more sport. I do think some people are too competitive and too willing to dogfight and to low blow other people in the name of winning the competition. And I don't think it should all be about winning. I think it should be about having a good, fun game and a fair competition, and it doesn't always have to be about being number one. I've never been all about being number one, and I get frustrated with people who are all about being number one. So some people are too focused on being number one, and I think it's about achieving status, and I think that sort of competition is unhealthy. So I think there is healthy competition and unhealthy competition, and there are healthy competitors and unhealthy competitors, and I think some people are too super competitive and willing to do the wrong thing to be the victor and to win the competition. But other than that, I think sport is good for society, and we love, as I said, we love games, and we should keep playing games with each other, and we should enjoy more social activities like sport. So drop a comment in the comment section about what you think the value of sport is.